If you were to ask a college basketball fan what their favorite month of the year was, they'd probably tell you March. And hey, who can blame them? The excitement of conference tourneys and, of course, the NCAA tournament, almost every school in the nation is hoping it's their year that the slipper fits. Practice? We're talking about practice, man. Welcome into the Moss Arts Center here in Blacksburg, Virginia. I'm Robert Bateman, joined alongside Kyle Marshak. And you're probably wondering, why am I quoting AI? Well, it's crossover week here on the 3304 Sports Kickoff Show. So, Tyronn Lue, watch out. Can't help but agree, Tyler. The loss of a program's greatest player of all time due to injury and your beloved head coach moving to the SEC all in the same week, Virginia Tech women's basketball fans are in their feelings right now. And for more on Liz Kitley's injury, Kenny Brooks' departure, and the future of Hokies hoops, it's our very own Keegan DeBernard. Keegs, what you got? Man, I'm fired up. Great stuff as always, Gio. Guys, normally at this point in the show, we would do a pick'em segment. But I thought this week, here at 3304, we like to keep it fresh, so let's try something a little different.
Gio's got it covered.
Oh, yeah, Gio's got it covered.
Yeah.
But we're going to swap things up a little bit, and you'll see what I did there in just a second. Can't help but agree, Trevor. Virginia Tech baseball have started off the season with a bang, going yard a total of 58 times already. VT's hot streak has seen them climb all the way up to number 13 in the nation. For a deep dive on the hammering Hokies, it's the one and only Ava Hartzell. Great work, Tucker. Well, let's take our talk down to Coral Gables, where the Virginia Tech men take on Miami this Saturday. But before we can get into VT's upcoming matchup, here's Phoebe Winters to break down the Hokies' last outing against the Duke Blue Devils. Phoebe, what do you got? Because we have a new segment for you called College Logo Color Swap. And we'll start with a top 20 matchup here with Georgia and Kentucky. Ooh. So, guys, what do you think about these logos?
Matilda Eck to inbound in the Hokies backcourt to Georgia Amore. 3 minutes left to play in the third quarter. The Hokies down 2, 48-46, as Georgia Amore gets to the straightaway and feeds inside to Matilda Eck on the left elbow. Eck driving down the left side of the lane, spins to the restricted area before getting swallowed up by Dre Edwards and Fritz. She kicks out to the short corner for Carly Wenzel, who puts up a contested 2. That's no good. Rebounded by Rose Mishaw, who's blocked by Dre Edwards at the shot clock buzzer, and Baylor forces a turnover out of the Hokies. They still lead 48-46 with 2:37 left to go.
Pesky defense by Baylor coming over for the double on Matilda Eck, who's been en fuego in this second half, draining basket after basket. So heads up defensive set by the Bears.
I didn't know you took Spanish.
Yeah, wasn't great at it, but I took it.
As Jada Walker gets across the timeline and fans to Van Geitenbeek. Bounce pass inside to Edwards, who goes up against Mishaw, and a foul is called on the shot. Dre Edwards will go to the line to shoot 2, and Rose Mishaw picks up her third personal.
And foul trouble is going to plague you in any game, but especially in March. Mishaw with 3, Strack with 3, Sumio with 3. The only player on Virginia Tech without a foul is Karis Baker.
Yeah, and the 3 with 3 fouls are the bigs for Virginia Tech, as Edwards' first shot from the line is no good off the front of the rim. Dre Edwards 0 for 2 in her first trip to the line. She is now 0 for 3 on the day. Edwards, a senior at Baylor, had to sit out last year due to a transfer policy, and she goes 0 for 2 from the line once again, 0 for 4 on the day from the charity stripe for Dre Edwards. Score remains 48-46 with 2:17 and counting left to play in the third. As Carly Wenzel gets to the left wing, she feeds Rose Mishaw at the top of the key, and it goes to Georgia Amore. Back inside to Mishaw, tons of room down the lane as her layup is off the glass and good. We're all square at 48 once again, 2 minutes left to go in the third.
And Baylor's defense leaving Mishaw wide open, trying to double, and I think 2 players went for the double. One of them was supposed to be guarding Mishaw and looked back and was like, oh, that's my man right there, and Mishaw goes up for 2.
Georgia Amore picks up her 5th assist of the day as Jada Walker on the other end puts up a left-hand layup that's too strong and rebounded by Mishaw. 1:40 left to go, 48-48 the score. Kayla King on the left wing feeds Carly Wenzel at the top of the key. Wenzel now on the left wing extended, driving down the left side of the lane, and a reach-in foul will go against Jana Van Geitenbeek. Van Geitenbeek picking up her second personal foul, and that's the 5th team foul, so the Hokies now in the bonus.
A heads-up play by Carly Wenzel to draw the hold on Van Geitenbeek right there. Then a little bit cold today, just 2 points to her name, but she'll go to the charity stripe to shoot 2 free ones.
1:32 left to play in the third quarter, and 2 subs will come in for the Bears. It's Bella Fauntleroy and Sarah Andrews taking out Fritz and Felder. Virginia Tech with a chance to take their lead for the first time today here at home inside Castle Coliseum. Carly Wenzel 2 shots at it. Here comes the first one. It is up, off the front rim, no good. We're still square at 48-48. Carly Wenzel redshirted last year for the Hokies. This year she stepped in to a large role as one of the backup guards for Virginia Tech. Here comes her next shot. It is up and in. That breaks the deadlock, and Virginia Tech gets their first lead of the day, 49-48, to the delight of Castle Coliseum. 1:30 left to go in the third quarter as Sarah Andrews feeds Dre Edwards on the straightaway. Over to Jada Walker, who pulls up from the right elbow. It's off the front rim, no good. Rebounded by Bella Fauntleroy, whose put back 2 is good. 50-49, the Baylor Bears take the lead back once again.
And again, Virginia Tech's been close. They have forced 9 ties in this game so far today. They only left for 17 seconds there, but it's a 1-point game, and that's in reach for the Hokies.
And Carly Wenzel tries to use the pick and roll with Mishaw. The pass is errant and goes out of bounds. It'll be an inbound from the baseline for the Bears with a minute left to play in the third. They lead 50-49.
That's just one of those passes, some miscommunication out there. 2 players that haven't necessarily seen the court all that much, especially at the same time this year. So it's a miscommunication and an air-mailed pass.
And Sarah Andrews loses her dribble out of bounds in front of her own bench. Virginia Tech forces a turnover with 49 seconds left in the third. They'll get it back with a chance to score. Turnover delight here today inside Virginia Tech's Castle Coliseum. 8 turnovers for the Bears, 10 for the Hokies as Georgia Amor gets across the timeline and feeds Kayla King on the left wing. She passes it across the top of the key to Matilda Ack, and Ack quickly hands it back to Georgia Amor, who crosses over inside, underhand layup with the right hand, rolls off the front of the rim, rebounded by Rose Mishaw, and it goes out of bounds, and over the back foul goes against Mishaw, and now Braden, she's in some trouble. That's 4 personals.
Growing up, my dad always told me there's always someone coming for your spot. And that quote seems like the perfect way to describe Virginia Tech this year. Anyone who's played a sport at some point in their life has probably had a coach tell them it's not about winning or losing, just go out there and have fun. And I couldn't agree more with that testament. Now, a soccer coach of mine growing up used to tell my team that right before every match. And after a while, us players started to develop a response, which was winning is fun. But what about the teams who don't go dancing? Well, plenty of programs are willing to step back and use the offseason as a chance to retool, come back even stronger next year. However, some teams are looking for a larger change, and sometimes that means a new coaching staff. Last year, the Hokies ended their season at 3-8, and fans found themselves calling for VT to hit the transfer portal, and hit the transfer portal they did. The Hokies brought in 7 transfers, and most notably was a 4-star quarterback transfer from Baylor, Kyron Jones. And with finals season ever looming on these students, VT could have used a little more tutoring as they lost by 34 points, 84-50. Well, when you've hit rock bottom, the only place to go is up, right? When you think of the college basketball realm and people who have the most fun, in this case winning, you probably think of Syracuse legend Jim Boeheim, who racked up just over 1,000 wins in his career. Or even better, how about Duke legend Coach K, who retired with an outstanding 1,200 wins. Pretty impressive stuff. But believe it or not, neither of them can say they reign supreme when it comes to college basketball. That title goes to the one and only Tara VanDerveer. Let's hone in on Seattle, where the University of Washington decided to let go of head coach Mike Hopkins. Next year, the Huskies will be joining the Big Ten, and most likely announce Coach Hop's replacement. Now, normally I'd give you this long spiel about where the team's headed and what they can do to win. But instead, let's talk about the man who used to be in charge, Coach Hop. Her current reign has seen her win 3 national championships, 27 Pac-12 regular season championships, and 14 Pac-12 tournament championships. There's only been 8 seasons total where VanDerveer has overseen Stanford and hasn't brought home a trophy. This is when lightning struck for Coach Hopkins. In his first year in charge of the Huskies, he won Pac-12 Coach of the Year. And you know what they say about lightning, right? It never strikes twice. Well, Mike Hopkins does. He went on to win the Coach of the Year in the Pac-12 again. And on top of that, Washington won the regular season Pac-12 championship. Here's where things get crazy. Remember how I mentioned Coach K earlier? He used to lead collegiate basketball for men's or women's in wins with 1,202, with an insane 77% win percentage in every game he played. VanDerveer, she just won her 1,203rd game last Sunday against Oregon State. But she also has a winning percentage of an insurmountable 82% all time. Now, I don't know about you, but if I took the court knowing I won more than 80% of the time my team touched one of these, I think I'd be having a whole lot of fun too. Guys, that brings us to today. where Mike Hopkins is back on the market. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm a program looking for a new head coach and I know there's a guy on the market who's all about the players first and is beloved everywhere he goes, well, I might as well give Coach Hop a shot. That's the type of value that he brings to a program. Guys.
The number 14 Hokies are back in the win column with a convincing victory over the Clemson Tigers, 74-62.
Coming into the matchup, one of the biggest storylines had nothing to do with the Hokies' opponents. This game marked the first time in 101 games that Kenny Brooks would have a squad take the court without star guard Georgia Amor. And it showed. VT started off slow, struggling to maintain possession in the first half, and actually trailed Clemson until the final minute of play in half number 1.
It's no secret, we're built around Georgia, Liz, and when one of them's not there, then obviously it's going to take you a little bit of time to get adjusted, to them out there. So I thought the way we ended the half was key. It was very crucial. And I think it gave us a little bit of momentum, and then we were able to keep them at bay.
It was a crucial Matilda X3 at the buzzer, which was actually able to put the Hokies ahead going into the break. But let's take a step back and look at the ACC, where it still seems like it's anyone's game, seeing that every team has already actually lost a game in conference play. The Atlantic Coast seems to be in a constant flow state of who will earn the top spot.
We're one of the better teams in the ACC, but I don't think anybody's going to go through this league unblemished. And we had to go to Florida State and to Duke. Those are two tough places. So to come back home and to play in front of our home crowd, people in front of us, that's a really good recipe for getting better.
Matilda Eck had a breakout performance, scoring 16 points on 4 for 9 shooting from behind the arc. But it was still the Liz Kitley show. She was able to lead the way for the Hokies, playing an astonishing 39 minutes, snagging 4 steals and scoring 31 points on 15 for 22 shooting.
We cannot take her greatness for granted. We really can't. She has 31 and I don't know, 8 tonight, and that's a career game for a lot of people. But sometimes we look at it as ho hum, okay. But she's a great player, man, and so many people want to pick her game apart because she's been consistent for 5 years.
Liz Kitley is a Hokie legend, and I think it's safe to say number 33 is a jersey we'll see in the rafters of Castle Coliseum in no time.
It's a battle of the Techs in the Hokies' next matchup on Thursday as they host the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. From Castle Coliseum, I'm Robert Bateman with TechSide.